Everybody, welcome and hanging out with Temi. I'm Temi Ajayi, and of course, I've got the Royal Highness. And there you go, guys. And Miss Heidi Soliman. I love that. How are you doing, ladies?
Great. How are you?
Good.
Great. I love the look. I just love it when I'm looking at it. And I hope everybody else is loving this look because this is not easy to come by. I'm not being biased, is the truth. But you look great. You look take away. Beautiful.
Whose compliment is that? Sorry, before I answer.
Exactly. I'm looking at Liz.
I said on the screen in front of me, you guys, you too. You
Yeah.
too. I
Yeah,
mean,
thank you.
it's true. Heidi came from Egypt. She came back. I don't know if she did some Botox on her face, whatever. She's glowing. And Liz, you too. I hear that you are now in Haiti. You are now in places, exotic places, and so that's.
That's a good report. Thank you for that. I'm actually moving.
It's been awesome. It's been awesome. So Heidi, how's your week been? I saw what you posted on Facebook, and I couldn't have understand a word of it. I'm like, this is not for me, but I love the connection with you and the host presenter. The connection was so good, and you were getting me along with you with what you were talking passionately, but I didn't know what it was you were talking about.
Yeah. So this was my coach that helped me heal 5 years ago, and he was just sharing my success story, and he was asking me questions, and I was just responding to his questions. So he's an amazing man. He's got millions of followers. And it's great to connect again with him and to be interviewed by him. I haven't seen him and we haven't talked like that in years, so I'm really grateful for that opportunity. So that was actually videoed about a year ago, and he just reposted it only a couple of, I think, a week ago or something like that. So that was really good. And prior to him posting that video, this is what I wanted to talk to you about, Temi. But anyway, I'll share a little bit about, I usually ask God for guidance.
Yeah.
I pray about something and I, just pray and then I give it out and I go, God, please guide me. And that night I had a nightmare. And in the nightmare, I got up in the morning. I found the nightmare was really scary, and it was answering my question. And then I got another confirmation to the answer when I saw this thing posted. So that was something, and this was God's answer for me in the question that I gave the other day, the day before. So I'm really grateful, and I love that this year is the year of flow. And I can't wait for more flow, and I'm so indulging into this. So thank you, Temi. How have you been? How has this week been? You seem so busy, so tell us about what you're doing.
I know. I'm busy. Now I'm measuring everything that I do. I'm, extracting, so, adding and all that, what I do. But Wyndham City Council, they're doing quite a lot, which is our city municipal, whatever you call it. So we call it council here. So they're doing a lot of things, and they just pulling us. I mean, we've been supporting them for so many years, and they're supporting us as well. But this time, innovation. Our community is coming with a lot of innovations, and they're calling the business people, they're calling the leaders of the community and all that, and get involved deep into that. Even yesterday, there was another one. So I've been busy really doing that. And like I told you, I'm finalizing my book, my memoir. That's crazy. You need to see the book. I finished now. I was just in the editing process, but I'm so no, not the editing. We're doing the cover of the book, and I kept on going back and forth. I just want to be comfortable with it. One, number two, if you write your autobiography, I don't know about you ladies, you don't want to even share it out. It's scary to you. Like, did you go through all this? Was this you? And all that. Like, maybe I should just protect it, write it, and keep it to myself because it's too scary to get out. You see, this girl, she was crazy once. How come she's calmed down now? Like, I'm really crazy, you know. So there's a whole lot of things. I'm finalizing the book, and we're finalizing our coaching business as well with my husband. And yeah, a few things. It's really happening. It's crazy, but I'll be right, like Australian people say. I'll be right. So this year is gonna be flow and it's gonna be quantum leap. I think a lot of things are going to be flying really, and yeah, it's looking really exciting. I told you next week I'll be away. Week after or something, I'll be away as well. I hope you can come with me. Temi's
I
working.
will.
She's working. She's getting too much money. And Elise, talk to us about your work.
Well, you'll have to tell me where you're going to so that maybe if there is need for coming along, I'm not tied to anything. So,
I
that- as I said, for me, it's all about freedom. And as long as it's value adding, definitely, I can go and either add value or that value is added to me. So that's what life is about. You bring you on the table or you come and get what's served on the table. And I have the freedom to do that. The week obviously has been beautiful, really. I just love the way that it's going for me. Looks like there's this definite direction that's taking shape in my life, and I really just love what God is doing. Um, so in saying that, really, I love the aspect of freedom. Everything that is falling into place is providing me with the freedom that I also need. So I am in the process of structuring my freedom. How do I use my extra time? How do I contribute to wherever I am? There has been so many things that I was passionate about. And there's so many loose ends in terms of what I want to do and wanted to do. So I'm at a place where I'm really, really looking at all these things and aligning my passion with my freedom so that it's not just freedom and free for all and just free, free, free. And before I know it it's out of control. But it has to be with responsibility, it has to be with control, and it has to add value to myself and to the communities that I serve. So that's the process that I'm in.
Amazing.
Mind you, you're serving the community, you are serving the whole world on hanging out with Temi. Anyway, you're already doing that.
Yes.
Sorry, who
Yeah.
doesn't want freedom? We all want it. So, but one thing I like about Liz is Liz does not muck around. If there's something somewhere and that thing is serving, she's there. Doesn't muck around, and I like that. I think we all have that in common. So we just drop it, we just move if we have to move. But thank God, I'm really glad that all is happening. It's all good. I'm really happy about that. And can I say thank you, ladies, also by telling me that I'm a little bit sumptuous, a little bit, because now I'm very aggressive about my dieting. And Heidi eats dinner at 5 and she goes to bed at 9, whatever. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, that's a bit too early.
Can you imagine? She's got a life together, this girl, I'm telling you. She sleeps at 9, you call her at 9:30, she's not answering your call. Here I am at 1 o'clock, I'm answering. 12 midnight, I'm answering. So what I want to say this now publicly. Guys, don't you ring me at 10 o'clock because I'm not going to answer. Nobody should ring me at midnight. I'm not answering your call anymore. I want to be like ID. I'm sleeping, all right?
Well,
But
I don't answer calls after 9:30. Honestly, I don't, because I am asleep. And if I'm not, I am in my bed, doing something, writing something, and I am, really, really focusing on winding down and going to sleep. I'm not going to, get engaged into conversations because, but you see, Tammy, people are different. So some people like nighttime and they are functioning well.
I
I
am.
don't. I've never been.
I am. Yeah.
I never liked night. I love it when I get up before the sun comes out. I am up at 4 or 4:30, 5 o'clock maximum, because I want to be here before the sun. I want to be, awake before the sun comes out. And I pull my windows, up, and then I want to watch the sun coming out.
Sorry, who don't want to be you guys? Who don't want to be your friend? We got freedom and we've got flow. Who don't want to be your friend? But mind you are awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. No, but now my dinner is, I mean, like carbohydrates. Liz, there's noise coming from your phone noise. Liz, I don't know what it is.
Really?
Yeah. So now when I mute you, then the noise goes away. Oh,
Okay.
now it's going. No, it's back. Do you want to
I'm
try?
in a very quiet place. I don't know.
Okay, we give it a go again. Yeah, all right. Now it's a bit quiet again. Are you with me? Good. All right, but fantastic. Do you guys notice that we are like in pinkish kind of color today?
Yeah, I can see.
Means
We got
something.
we got the we got the pink memo.
We're gonna go on a quick break and we're gonna come talk about today's topic. But Pastor Festus Newton, I just need to let you guys know that he's taking, I just didn't want to disturb him this week. I want to give him that break so that he can recover very well. He's been doing conferences and all things. He's very busy, but we thank God for him and for Pastor uh, Brown as well, Bishop Wayne Brown. So that's why they're not here, but they will be here. They will be. I decided just to leave them to give them that break, but they'll be here. We go on a quick break and we'll come talk about today's topic. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and for watching us. I also want to say that please go onto our YouTube page and subscribe as well, because we need to build, guys. We're serving you. That's the only thing you can do to serve us. So please go subscribe. And also, if you want to promote your merchandise, your item, your service or business that you run, let us know as well. We can promote that for you. I think last week I spoke about I'll be showing up once a 6 monthly now when we do Intrepid Women. Intrepid Women is coming on the 26th. So if you live around when Victoria, Intrepid Women is coming, and we're bringing a lady called Amanda Moore. Amanda Moore deals with anything property. You want to buy, your second buyer, third buyer, first home buyer, is just A to Z about more houses, especially if you're a single parent as well and you want to buy, or you're having a part-time job you want to buy. She is really a guru, and I've got a lot of experiences in terms of building and with error and complications that goes with it. I've had my own share, and so I think if I had somebody like Amanda, couple of the errors that we had in the past wouldn't have been so. But I thought, let's share this wisdom with everybody so they can get benefits. So 26th of this month of February, we're not going to be on the show. We're going to be Intrepid Women's Day. And that day, I'm going to come up in the morning or noon time as well and do one-on-one to share some wisdom with you guys. That is it about the, side talk. Now, let's go into the deal. Today's topic is closure in relationships. Is it important? What do you look out for in closure? So this, I think we did a little bit of closure in the past about when I lost my brother-in-law. I think we did that. So in case, that's with death. And sometimes you want to put a closure because you lost, loved one. But of course, closure is just it's defined as the process of you putting an end to something. If the thing is hurting you or is haunting you, how do you put it to rest, so to say? How do you put it to rest? No, it's there, but I'm not afraid. I can manage it. That it's okay. I've got a grip of it. That is closure. But today, ladies, I want us to talk about closure in terms of maybe divorce, separation, in terms of that. So I've been thinking about this for a long time, about closure. What is closure? I heard that some people do closure by throwing a party, good radiance, we get bad eggs, whatever. You throw a party for getting rid of your wife or your husband. Is that a closure? I'm actually really fascinated by this thing because I really want to know, is it necessary for, well, I don't know. I don't know whether it's really necessary. And what sort of closure do people have? I know about the party, or I know about going to get therapy. You go to the therapy and get some, on. So please, Heidi, your therapist, what closure do you, is it important? What is it?
Well, without closure, a lot of people are confused. They don't know what's happening. They have no idea, is she or he with me, or are they not? Are we still an item? Are we still together, or are we not? There is a lot of couples, married or not married, that are consciously uncoupling. They are consciously uncoupling in the relationship. They are still in the relationship, but they've been consciously uncoupling for many years. So, everybody deserves a closure. Giving a reason for the closure is not necessary, though, because some people don't know why they want to be away from that person. They're just not feeling right. A lot of people come to me and tell me that, look, I can't do life with her or him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have a good reason. I just
Oh,
can't. I don't want to do life with her or him anymore. We have grown apart. Instead of growing together, we have grown apart. We have different values because people change, Temi. People
just
change. We are in continuous state of change. Even our cells change. You are not the same person 2 years ago. Every single cell that you have in your body has already renewed itself now. You are not biologically the same person. You are not physically the same person, and definitely psychologically, you're not the same person. While people change, their values change with them. Now, it's a daily decision that I make with my partner to grow together. But if we're not making that decision together, we're actually growing apart.
I know what you mean when you say our values change, but your values should be changing for better. Okay, so for example, maybe you just got married, for example, and you were both dealing in drugs, whatever, and killing people or stealing. So your value can change by, say, by now maybe I receive Christ or something, I'm doing better. And if the other person does not want to come along with you, then it would be a good radiance, really, because now you are a new creation. You're not the bad person you used to be. You can. So I'm the way you're talking, I'm thinking you should want to grow better with somebody who is doing better. So why? So if your value changes, it's supposed to change for good. I am I
I am
right?
not I am not going to call it good or bad, because some people change full stop. It's not good or bad. Some
I
people
don't.
just change.
I don't understand. Liz, what do you understand? Some people change, I know, but I think you're muted. I think you're muted still.
Yeah, thank you. I think, Temi, if we explore your question in terms of why people change, we're gonna get into a different topic. So let's commit that to memory, and we get back to closure.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I would say closure is a way of looking for answers in terms of a decision that was taken that impacts you. In this case, as you say, a divorce, or a relationship that has come to an end. And probably you were not the one who decided the end. It could have ended in a text message and the person is gone. No conversation, no, let's come together, let's talk about this. And I'm sitting here, I was thinking it's all going well. But the other person has to send me a text and said, this is it, we're not an item anymore. So closure for me would be that process in which I am asking questions and I need answers for these questions. And these answers are going to help me, or they're going to serve as a foundation for me to be able to move on, to be able to take action in order to, understand myself and understand even other people as I move on building other relationships. With questions on my mind, it impacts how I'm going to relate in future with people in other relationships, etc. But if there are answers to these questions, sometimes it doesn't happen immediately, which is the reason why people are looking for closure. But if there are answers to this question, you can have a better story to tell. And I'm saying so because our life happens in stories, and we live forward to understand backwards. So if my story only has a beginning and the middle, and I don't necessarily have the end, I can't tell a beautiful story. I can't conclude the story. And most of the times, that's also why we need closure, to be able to conclude the story of that chapter. Otherwise, it stands unended. And I think I'm going to leave it at that for now.
It's very interesting that you said that they want the answer. Now, if it's a relationship, I reckon that maybe it's a new and young relationship. You're like maybe 5 years into it. You might be asking a question. This is me talking right now. I'm gonna move that. This is me talking. But if it's a relationship that you've been for 15, 16, 18, 20 years, you would have had your answer, wouldn't you? Because you will have known that this relationship is not working. You know what you want, so I think sometimes we're just creating stories, and I don't believe in stories. And I think you just want to say something to suit you, or you are looking for somebody to help you to make stories up, because from day one. If you don't know the fifth year, you know the sixth year. And why do you sit down there and say you want an answer from who? I'm really interested in this. I want to know. I know that they said you want a closure, but I think you will have known your answer, and you will have made up your mind what you really want for your life. So stop looking for answer from somebody outside, because you own you. And this is just the way I process this closure. But I'm really fascinated. I'm on to it. If people want closure, and if you want me to start telling you stories, we can tell stories, all right? But really, It would be more advisable for you to really understand you and know what your values are and know what you are worth, what you are capable of in life. You want freedom now, Liz. You're not going to come to me and say, Temi, can you tell me, can I have freedom? Am I in freedom? You tell me whether you are in freedom or not. But I'm really fascinated, and I think a lot of times, we need to be discussing this. And is it just women that is always looking for closure, or are men looking for closure? We go on a quick break and we come to Heidi. Heidi, are men coming to you for closures? And what are the closures? We will be right back. Yeah, welcome back on the show. We are today talking about closure in relationships, and is it important? And what is it? How does it look like? So if you have different type of closures, because you see, nobody knows it all. We're not an island. You know what? And we're learning and we're expanding our horizon. So if you have some sort of closures and what that has done for you, did you really close? Did you really close the knot or not? Let us know, because this is really interesting. So if you see it on YouTube or Facebook, you can still type something. Don't just be lazy and go around and don't put something up. So put something down for us, because we really want to know. So just we were talking about the closure, and Liz was saying that sometimes people are looking for the answer. Are they still in this relationship? Are they out of this relation? And ID was saying the same thing. But I'm looking, ID, are men coming to you for closures too? Because, yeah.
Yes, yes. So I actually agree very much with what Liz just said about us creating or making a story,
Right.
because this is how we do life, Temi. We don't know how to do life any other way. We need to create a story. Look, I have a story about the weather today. I have a story about your hair. I have a story about Liz's dress. I have a story about everything that I perceive in life. And this story I'm creating depends on a comparative analysis that I do continuously in my brain to past memories of the same thing. So I have seen Liz's print before, and it looks like what's it called, the Burberry. Okay, so that to me, because I have a memory of that print of dress, and I know that this is what Burberry looks like, and so Liz is wearing a Burberry dress. So I, in my head, I'm going, wow, amazing! I like the color, and that color is very much similar to the color I'm wearing, and therefore Liz is very similar to me in the color, and I like the brand. So I'm already having a story about everything I'm interacting with in life. If my partner, or if a person, like a friend, even a friend, okay, we were very close together, and then all of a sudden she's not calling, she's not with me, she's not contributing my life as she was, I need to have a story in my head about this, because
Okay.
I can't have just a question mark and then no answer. And the story could be, we've just outgrown each other. In my head, we don't operate at the same kind of energy, also in my head. Or we have different interests right now. That's also a story. So any of these is a story I'm going to create. Now, do men require closures? Oh, hell yes, they do.
They do?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And they don't know why women, dump them or change, or all of a sudden they're really angry, and all of a sudden they're acting in a weird way when they haven't been for years. So they want to understand what is wrong with them. What is happening in the relationship? Look, it happens to both people, men and women, because we all have these experiences. Now, men perceive closures in a much more, how can I say it, in a much more suppressed way than women, because women express, they get angry, they cry, they can go and binge eat, sorry, and they can like stuff their faces with chocolate. They can do lots of that. But men, they don't do that. They don't do that. They suppress. They might have questions, but they suppress. I had a client come to me about a couple of years ago. He had problems with his liver, and I told him, look, you've got suppressed anger.
I remember.
You've got suppressed anger, so much suppressed anger. And he was just saying, look, there is this happened, that, all of these, and they were all, relationships that ended without a proper explanation and a closure. And he doesn't understand why. And so he suppressed his anger in his body, affected his liver, and then now he's coming for therapy and to release these emotions. And you know what? Anger does so much more to the body, that it actually, when it's suppressed, it eats on the body. It manages to ruin a lot of organs, the liver being the most important one. Anger and liver. So this is what happens. So men do require closures, and it's only fair that a woman would tell, look, I don't think where I'm happy. What if I can just say, look, I am not happy anymore. I don't want to do life with you anymore. What if I can just say that?
Yeah. And that's part of my query as well, because you got someone, the wife, that says to you, I'm out of this, I can no longer do this, and then you're saying you want closure. She's gone. She says she's gone. She doesn't want to do this again, because and then you keep on hanging in there. It's not going to end up well, because somebody said things like, if I stay with that man, one person is going to die. His words, somebody is going to die. I cannot stay under the same roof. And then you stay there and say you wanted closure. So there are a whole lot of things that are happening here. I think people, sometimes we are selfish. You're in a relationship because of your own selfish end, and that's probably that you don't know that this person is gone. Because I tell you an example anyway. I was talking to somebody before, and she told me, I'm indulging my wife because she's helping me to look after my kids for now. But I don't like her anymore. I don't want anything to do with her. But then she's helping me to look after my child. How is that a relationship? That is being selfish. And I said, that is being mean. And I said, you are an abuser. You see? So in that case, I think the girl might be thinking, I'm still in a relationship. But the guy is like, I'm just there. So I say all those stories idea to come back to, we need to be clear what we really want. Do you need somebody to have a child for you? Do you need a nanny? Do you know what I mean? What do you need in a relationship? So I said that in the abusive way of managing relationship, it's not good and it's not fair. And at the end of the day, it's going to hit the rock anyway if you don't come together for the same mutual vision. That's why we have this one vision. But Liz, I'll let you go. I think you want to say something right there.
Yeah, I think my perspective in terms of why somebody who was maybe in a relationship where it was like you were saying, Temi, 20 years or whatsoever, and you reckon that the person ought to knew that things were not working out, for instance. But the reason for closure, from my perspective, is for you to release that attachment and the anger.
Okay.
Good and well, it was 20 years, good and well, you may have seen, the telltale signs. But then, all of us can sit from outside and say, isn't Heidi not saying this? You know what I mean? But from within, Heidi may see those and interpret it as we are happy.
You're happy.
I mean, you and I, who is sitting from outside, have no idea what Heidi is seeing on the inside. For her, inside, she may be thinking it's going well, and therefore she has built an attachment to this thing. There are emotions into this. 20, 25 years down the line, if it ends, the reason for closure is to break that attachment. So that when you meet this person around the corner, you are not angry anymore. You don't feel the pain anymore because there is healthy closure. And I think I just want to put that out there. That even if you had seen the signs, still you need closure in order to heal, in order not to feel the pain anymore, in order to build that healthy foundation, both for yourself and for the people who will share your life with you in future.
Unbelievable. You know what you said just remind me of something. You know, our values are different as well. So like you said, you can be outside and be saying, can she say? She might not be able to see because her values are different. You know, I remember one time we talked about deal breaker here. That what's your deal breaker? So whatever my deal breaker was might not be your deal breaker. I'm just looking at somebody. How long does it take you to know? Oh man, like someone will bring a boyfriend to your house. You saw your wife and the boyfriend in your room. You still don't know. You see, you go to the safe, a supermarket and saw your husband's credit card with his name on it from a with a girlfriend. You still don't know. You see, the girls, your husband even made the girlfriend's photo the screensaver. You still don't know. Sometimes, we're different. I wonder what people know sometimes. And really, it's not all up to us to judge what they see or what they don't see. But I don't want false stories because sometimes you might know, you see, but you're still looking for stories everywhere just to make you comfortable. It's a waste of people's time, waste of the world, even because this is your own lives and this is your own story that you want to make up. I'm not going to be sitting down there and be making story up. It gives me head because I'm thinking, you knew. What else do you have to know? You seen your husband watching the pornography. You still don't know? The man already told you are gone. I would rather go on the application and look at other girls there. You're not what anything if you're watching. So what is your value? This is just crazy. I'm dealing with couple right now that it's just, I say you can't have any bias, you can't have any motive, but then I want to bring power back to people. You need to break that cover on your eyes and get your own power back because you have that power. God is giving you the ability to hold yourself, to be, to do, and to be. God is giving you that. So that's what I want to give you. I don't want to be massaging and putting butter on your head and you're going downhill. I want to return power back to you. I guess that is why I do empower. But I'll go on a break and then ID will come back. I know you've got a point there. Welcome back on the show. We're talking about closure and how closure means different things to different people. And we've talked about a few things about, you want to put an end to it, you want the story to sound good, whatever it is, you know. But I'm thinking we have the power, and I just want to actually say this as it comes to me. Establish your values. Don't deflate it. You can only get better, don't get worse. Whatever your value is, hold on to it. If you want $2, don't price yourself 1 cent, man. If you're $2, you're $2. If you're $50, you're $50 person. Hold on to it. And nobody is gonna price you anyhow. if you hold and establish your own person. And I really hope today's topic is going to quicken something in you. And but I want to get to a place to see. I've got a point that I want to raise at the end of it, just to buttress my own view. And Heidi, you got an opinion. You want to share something there?
Yes, I do actually, Temi. I feel so much compassion for those people that are in relationships and they decide not to get out of it. It's not because of anything, but they believe about their beliefs, Temi. They believe they are powerless.
Right.
Look, I knew that I wasn't going to continue in my relationship with my ex-husband. I knew that from very early on.
Exactly.
But I went on and I stayed, because I didn't have the power. I was powerless. I felt I was powerless. Forget about the real me, because the real me has all the power in the world. But what I believed, what I felt in my bones, that I didn't have the power to say no and to say, I don't want to continue this anymore. I believed that. So when I see people, then they come to me with these problems and they are telling me that they have no power and they don't know how to do this, I believe it. I believe exactly what they tell me because I was there and I know what it feels like. So when that person comes to you, please have compassion because they mean it, Temi. They believe that they don't know and they don't have this power. And all I needed to have is the pain of staying the same
Mm-hmm.
has to be a lot a lot bigger than the pain of change.
Right. Yes.
So
That's it.
that pain, this is the only way people
That's it.
stop. Yeah. So
Yeah.
people, this is why people stop relationships, and this is why people stop behaviors and ways of being. And so the pain of staying the same has to be a lot bigger than change. And when that happened, when that equation, happened in my life, I was able to walk out. And then I talked to my husband at the time and I said, look, we are at the end of our relationship. And he couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. You see, he was oblivious
Mm-hmm.
to whatever it was that is happening. Look, amazing man, love and respect him, but it was the end of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he was oblivious. He didn't have any idea that this was going to happen. I gave warnings in 12 years. So there were stations where I, was like, okay, well, this is going to end one day. And please know that one day I'm going to be out of this. But he didn't believe that this could ever happen. He thought that that she doesn't have the power. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's a stay-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
She knows nothing.
And that's the problem. That's what I say. If you think you're $2, you're probably $2. If somebody is pricing you 50 cents, you're not. It's because that you're right, oblivious, and sometimes people think, she's got no power, she can do anywhere. And your case, sorry, Heidi, your case is different too, because especially when the whole family are not in support, it's very hard. And
Yeah.
that's why sometimes people commit suicide. Your case is very, very different because everybody wants you to be there. So you didn't have anywhere to go. If somebody says, "Come, ID, I don't want you to suffer," come, your case will have been, easier. But then the people you love, they all don't want to be supportive of you getting out. So that's a different case, and that is understandable because you can't go anywhere. Everybody's no, you have no support. But sometimes when you have every support and every love in the world, and you still say, "I don't know." I don't know. But I think sometimes you need somebody to just let you know with love and everything. Says, honey, there's more to life than this.
Yeah.
And you know what I hate, Heidi, what I don't like is You stay there for like 18 years and then you suffer, you end up committing suicide, or then, you know, it's a waste of life. Don't commit suicide. I'm just begging, please don't hurt yourself. And it's unfair to hurt oneself. It's grossly unfair, because you have a mother that birthed you to life and think you have a precious girl or of son. You got somebody that will love you in this life, and they will die for you. And now you die for this guy, and the guy is going to marry next tomorrow, or the girl is going to marry someone else, but you gone, and then you go to, I don't know, you're not going to heaven, because God, you cannot take your life. You did not create your life. So you can't take your life. There's more to life. Find help, find a friend. And ID, I really credit you, because there's no bitterness in you. And I said this before, I've seen you and your ex, the way you relate, the way you talk. There's no bitterness, there's no anything. I respect you, but I'm worth more. And we agree. I think right now he agrees that you're worth more and you're admirable. He admires you now and respects you very well. So I think one of the things I want to say, ID, also is, if you get help, be focused, get your life back, and do something meaningful with your life.
Yeah.
Look at what you've done. Look at what you built by yourself, and even the girls. You are a very good example. I'm not saying people should divorce, but if you're going to commit suicide anyway, get out of there. Get out. I used to preach as a pastor. I say, stay there. Maybe God can change him. But I've seen a lot of people kill themselves now, to let me know that no, if it's not working, it's not working. You're just rubbing, together iron.
Yes.
Spark is going to cause fire, and you're going to not kill yourself, you're going to kill other people. So there's more to life. But this, I'll let you go, but I've got a question to round it up. I want to ask at the end.
Okay, I just want to bring the aspect of knowing your value into perspective, because it's really important. And in saying that, it's when you know your value that you will definitely look for closure. If you don't know your value, you may be running away from the answers that you may get if you look for closure. Because asking some questions will give you answers that will eventually tell you, this is not where you belong. So there are certain people who avoid closure. And we also need to know who are those, If you avoid closure, then you're probably running away from some sort of commitment, some sort of accountability. Like I've got an example of somebody who have eaten up the inheritance. And now people are looking for closure. And you were simply nowhere to, talk about the inheritance that was left for all of us.
Oh my God.
Now, in saying that, coming back to values, sometimes as particularly women, we really don't go deeper into ourselves.
Yeah, true.
And being shallow about who and what you are will leave you in a place where you are happy for what you get. And therefore not want to go deeper into the questions that will bring the answers that may lead you to closure.
I like that.
So I think I'm going to leave it that for now.
I really like that. You're happy with what you get. If they give you a lollipop, you're happy to run away with lollipop, but you probably can actually manufacture lollipop rather than being given. But I've got a final question to ask. I will, 1 second, I'll go on a quick break and I'll be back. Yes, welcome. I like this topic a lot because I think I'm having closure when we're talking about it. We're talking about closure and what it is. Is it really necessary? And my question, final question is, do you have to have a closure with this person that you're separating with? I think that's the golden question. Do you really have to have a closure with someone that is already long gone, and you want to call him back and say, I want a closure? What would you be talking then? Do you have to, Heidi?
It depends on what my purpose would be. What is it that I want from this person, or why do I need to, maybe I need to, um, you know, pass, something that I'm feeling, and maybe forgive them, tell them that I forgive them, or ask them for forgiveness. Maybe what if I want to ask their forgiveness? And then I tell them, look, I have messed up. There's no relationship where one person messes up. It's called a relationship for that reason. Two people mess up. There is not one-sided ever. There has to be two sides to any argument. So if I want to call back a person and say, look, I'm sorry, I will do that. I will.
I'm laughing because, so if you want to end a relationship, wouldn't you have had a cause to talk before it actually ended? Wouldn't you have had, or is it just when they move? Maybe you are not even expected. They just you came home from work and they're gone. Is it that close, or is it the case of relationship is wobbly all this time anyway? We know it's gonna. Wouldn't you have had a conversation about it?
Yeah, sometimes it's like sudden, and sometimes it's gradual. Sorry. So it's not a one-way thing, Temi. Sometimes it's really gradual, and sometimes it's sudden. Some people actually go to work and they come back in the afternoon, and there is the lawyer sitting on a table with the husband. This happened to one of my relatives. She went to work in the morning. She came back from work. This was about 10 years ago. She came back from work and she found the lawyer sitting in her lounge room with her husband, and then her husband is saying, come please sign these documents. And she was like, what documents? What are you talking about? And he goes, our divorce documents. She goes, what do you mean divorce? He goes, look, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be married to you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And she had no idea. She didn't even see him unhappy one day. She didn't imagine he was not happy one day.
Wow.
Maybe he was having an affair. I have no idea. Maybe he found his soul's purpose in an ashram or a monastery or something. I don't know. But this is what happens. Sometimes it's a sudden thing. And when it does, maybe that person wants to go back to this lady and tell her one day, I'm so sorry I did that to you, because she actually had a nervous breakdown and she went to hospital for a couple of weeks, and she was recovering for a year, because she had no idea. But one day maybe he wants to say, I'm so sorry, and this is what happened. Maybe, I don't know. But it all depends on what is my purpose for coming back to this relationship. What do I want to do? Am I coming back because I want reconciliation, or I want forgiveness, or I want to clear things up, or do I know that I'm dying, for example, and I want to finish this unfinished business? Because that also happens. Some people come to me and they are at the end of their lives and they want to say sorry, and they want to finish all the unfinished businesses they had in this life because they're dying. And in that, there is so much healing, going back to this relationship to say, I'm sorry and please forgive me, and I'm going.
In your case, sorry, you have to go back. In your case, when you told your husband that this is it, was that the closure? And that was before you left the house. This was done, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
was
I didn't leave the house. He left the house. So I said, look, I'm done. With all my love and respect, I'm done. And
and you respected that?
Yeah,
And it,
and he respected. Obviously, he was, thinking that, oh, maybe she's just a bit sad or upset about something, and she's gonna get over it in a day or a week or a month or something. So he thought that this was going to be the case, and that wasn't the case.
and that was you didn't come back and say let's do closure after that.
No, no,
Or
there was no need for closures, because I said I'm done. I
yeah,
don't want the relationship. And
that
it
was,
was like, I love you. I didn't say I hate you, didn't have any issues, didn't have any problems, never had fights. Just said, look, I love you and respect you, and I don't want to be your wife anymore. And that's
wow.
it.
I wish life can be that easy. That's unbelievable. And that was it. That was your closure, and there was no need for any closure. Wow, ID. This is unbelievable. I'm sure people will be looking at you and say, "What the?" Because the thing that I'm hearing is they're doing closure like 5 times. It's never ending. Closure and then another closure. I'm like, so how long is this closure gonna be? Because this person is really enraged or is embittered, and this person is already distant. It's really they're gone. They probably even got another wife or whatever somewhere, and then you're wanting a closure, and it doesn't want. So I think just give it my suggestion is give it a break, give it a time, focus on yourself. If this relationship is going to come back, it's going to come back. And I know why I'm saying that. I have a friend, ID and Liz, and the viewers of your party. And I have a friend who is probably watching. She's married for 30 years, and then they divorced. No, she married for 15 years, they divorced. So today is about 30. 15 years together, they divorced. The guy went, married somebody else, had a baby. My friend went, married somebody, had a baby. Today, they together. They went and did a wedding again. I can
Oh,
show you
wow.
a photo. She sent me a photo yesterday. A wedding. These silly people that separated 15 years ago, they came back. You know why? Because that girl came to Australia, studied, established herself, had 2 children that she had for him. They doing extremely well. They both graduate. One is a dentist, the other. They're gone, doing well. And she's extremely decent and cool. In fact, you see her, you admire this girl. And so she put herself together, and then she married this other girl, not married. They were together, and she had a baby for this guy, and says, you know what, I'm more than this, I'm not going to put up with your rubbish. And the husband said that, I'm more than this, I'm not going to put up with your rubbish. They came together, they married. So I'm saying that to say, I'm not saying it's the pattern to follow. I'm just saying, if you let the sleeping dogs lie, sometimes you never know what's going to come together. So don't kill yourself, don't jump the cliff because of today. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow, what the picture is tomorrow. And stop asking questions everywhere and closure, 20 times closure, and you're still not closure. You're just stressing, and you're putting anxiety on yourself, and it's just not good on your health. That's what I'm trying to say. This closure. And you don't need to have a closure with her. Like, I really want her to come, I want a closure, or him. He says, for now, give me a break. You're pressurizing. So my take is, don't jump. I'm actually soliciting about, don't kill yourself because of temporary thing that can change tomorrow. Don't get depressed over this, because if you're depressed, this guy or this lady will go anyway, because you're not good for them. Am I saying something right here? I'll let you conclude, and that will be the end of the show, ladies. Your final thought, Liz, before you go.
Yeah, thank you very much. Definitely, if somebody really needs closure, then even if you don't, have an opportunity to go back to the person who has taken a decision that, makes you feel like you need to understand a little bit more in order to get your healing, or, release your anger and so on. You don't necessarily need that person in order to do that. If it is impossible, go to a therapist. Go sit down and talk this out with a therapist, and let them help you to, arrive to your conclusions, and you can really, build yourself up for the future. But as you rightly say, Temi, when it is impossible, don't sit and, fall into anxiety and depression and, try and end your life. It's not worth it.
Okay.
But there is definitely hope if you are a victim of, a decision that was taken by somebody else and it affects you. Death, we understand the decision is taken by God, and that's what it is, unless the person has committed suicide. But that is exactly what we are talking about. You don't need to go that far. There is help, there is support. Make use of the systems so that you can definitely get to your closure, and you are able to take the necessary steps that will move you forward. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's good. Heidi?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I am much more important than the relationships I'm in. I am
Yeah.
much more important than any role that I play in life. And my soul's purpose definitely does not depend on a relationship or any role I play in my life. And therefore, I value my soul's journey. I value who I am and where I'm going to. I value that. I value God in me. I value that I am the essence of God. And I see that and I feel that and I acknowledge that every day. So if closure is something that is going to serve my soul, I will look for it and I will ask for it and I will make sure that, I get some answer for my soul's purpose. But if it's not going to serve my soul's purpose, if it's not going to add to the journey of expansion that I'm here to do, then you know what? Let it go.
God.
Let it go.
Let it go. On
Yes.
that note, it's been amazing. And the way we're talking about it, I'm actually feeling really relieved because I want to have a good understanding and to share,
Mhm.
with you, amazing ladies, and to share with the world. But thank you so much for this
Thank
input.
you.
I'm really, really glad that we discussed this and converse about this. So I appreciate. So I hope you've been blessed. We're not here to chastise anyone. Every one of us are just talking out about our own values from our own space. Okay. And we hope that you're going to be blessed by taking one or two points that we've raised tonight. So we'll see you again next time. Bye bye for now.
Thank you. Good night.
We
Bye.
are greeting. Bye bye.